What's happening with Meta and Mark Zuckerberg? For a number of reasons, the firm Meta has been in the headlines. Recently, anything from employees allegedly taking bribes and stealing user accounts to a declining stock price. The corporation that everyone loves to despise appears to be in serious peril if nothing changes due to mass layoffs, an increasingly ineffective business model, and of course, a failing metaverse project. Their most recent financial report revealed a 52% reduction in net profit for the quarter. In this episode, we'll talk about the unstoppable giants writhing. The stock price of Meta has fallen by more than 70% this year, making it the worst performing stock in the entire S&P 500 index. Less than a year ago, Meta was valued at almost $1 trillion. Today, it is worth less than a third of that. To put it another way, the fall has been so dramatic that its stock price has returned to January 2016 levels. To begin to comprehend the full picture of why Meta is collapsing, we must go back to 2005. At that time, Facebook's then president, Sean Parker, would help Mark Zuckerberg get around Silicon Valley while also assisting Mark in gaining total control of the business. Under Sean's direction, the company would be set up so that Zuckerberg would effectively rule over everyone, including the board of directors, and it would remain this way indefinitely. Users began switching from computers to smartphones in the 2010s, but Facebook adapted. Mark Zuckerberg still believed that Facebook could have been a bigger role in the hardware market. In 2013, the company attempted to release its own smartphone, but the public rejected it. 2014 would be the year that Mark would discover what he needed to do next. When Zuckerberg saw an Oculus demo, he was convinced that virtual reality, or VR, would be the future of computing. He bought Oculus for $2 billion and went all in, renamed the company, and spending $10 billion annually on research to make his vision a reality. However, because Mark was king, no one in the company could stop him, even if they thought it was a bad idea. This is one of the major problems. Although, in my opinion, technology is moving in a direction where a broadly adopted metaverse environment for the general public will become inevitable. A virtual environment where an online life is lived in VR. There is a problem. Is this future 5 years away or 15 years away? If it's 5 years away, Meta might be able to hang on and ride it out. But if it's 15 years away, this is a major issue and shareholders aren't going to tolerate it for investors. It feels like Apple was able to solve this problem with the iPhone, but Meta isn't quite there yet. On the hardware side, they're doing some interesting things and have sold over 10 million VR headsets, which is good. But on the software side, Horizon Worlds, Meta's flagship product for the metaverse, looks terrible. Although there is still a lot of work to be done, Palmer, the creator of Oculus, says that Zuckerberg isn't truly mistaken that virtual reality will be the technology that links people in a way that other technologies just cannot. Horizon Worlds is a subpar and unfun offering. The second issue is the crippling of the primary source of revenue for meta-targeted advertising. And once again, to fully understand this, we have to go back to 2008. In this year, Facebook would hire Google ad executive Sheryl Sandberg as Chief Operating Officer. This move did not bode well for the behind-the-scenes activity and was made in August of 2022, when the vice president of Horizon Worlds left. She would counteract Mark's reckless behavior in those early days, but she was also crucial in developing the highly successful advertising that propelled Facebook into the stratosphere. This advertising relied on users' personal data, which was bad for users, but good for early employees' wallets. Users hated it when they discovered that they were being exploited, but it didn't matter because the company was making money hand over fist. Tim Cook would dictate that iPhone users could turn off their ad targeting, and Meta lost billions. According to David Wenger, Meta's chief financial officer, advertisers are now starting to go to Google because iPhone users tend to spend more money than Android users. Therefore, this decision by Apple significantly hurt Facebook. With Meta's evaporated profits, everything was now exposed and subject to clear scrutiny. Frankly, Meta is a company that isn't improving their core products. Instead, Meta focuses on stealing other features from other platforms, like Reels from TikTok, and implementing them into Instagram. However, competing with one of the best social media algorithms on earth is a tall task. Reels aren't as profitable for Instagram as its other features are. And for the sake of the user experience, Instagram is veering further and further away from its initial concept. Facebook, the company, definitely exited the social media innovation space at this point. Early in 2022, for a while, the assumed adult in the room, CEO Sheryl Sandberg, left, and now Mark Zuckerberg is a king without any safety nets. Most recently, Facebook cut 13% of its workforce, or 11,000 employees, even though high-risk investments like major tech stocks are being destroyed by increased interest rates. Falling by 70% in a year is really exceptional. In a call with investors on November 10, Zuckerberg claimed that excessive investment was the problem, but didn't seem to see doubling down on the metaverse as a problem. He said he believed the rise in covert e-commerce would be sustained, so he significantly increased his investments. Beyond financial difficulties, Meta is dealing with FTC investigations and several congressmen who are antitrust watchdogs, all of whom are looming and threatening to either dissolve the firm or make it more difficult for them to just buy companies as they could in the past. The demographic shift was also not helping. As Kevin Rose of the New York Times noted, and despite older people generally having more money, TikTok has eaten Meta's lunch on both Facebook and Instagram. I also don't need to mention all the scandals, like Cambridge Analytica's release of documents on mental health and social division. What can be done? Looking at it from the outside, there should be some soul-searching because advertisers prefer to target the younger audience. But Meta is experiencing an identity crisis with a king who has tunnel vision. Perhaps Mark could embrace this. The only bright spot is that Meta still has nearly 4 billion clients, despite being really only 2 businesses. One is a wholly technological company with the goal of developing the metaverse. The other is a social media company whose CEO has stopped caring about its advertising and social media operations. Perhaps it's time to turn the social media portion into a real subsidiary headed by a different CEO. How do you see Meta in the future? Let us know in the comments, and thank you for watching.